This conference will now be recorded.
Say good evening to everybody. We're going to go ahead and get our meeting started, our real estate meeting. We're a little late. We're waiting on a couple of the commissioners to come in. The little traffic problems, but we're going to go ahead and get started so we don't keep our guests waiting long. Mr. Hanson and group, good to see you, brother, too. And but let's do that, if that's okay with you, Mr. CEO. Okay, that's what we'll do. Um, well, let's move to the are there any citizens' comments set up to?
No, sir. No citizens have signed to
Okay,
comment.
none. Okay, then we'll just go ahead and move to the real estate updates, and that's with you, Steve, if you want to handle that.
Thank you, Chair Parker. I just want to say, make a note that I think that let's not say anything about anyone else who has sat in your seat as chair of this committee, but I want to say that you have really always asked probing questions and making sure that we're pushing the envelope to make sure that we are, as President Nuba like to say, not just thinking about the bricks and mortar, but is our real estate agenda aligned with the interests of the residents? And so just want to say that thank you for really keeping that at the forefront since you've been sitting in the seat as chair.
Thank you,
Um,
Stephen.
Today, I have the pleasure of noting that I'm going to have Sherelle Hampton, our Senior Vice President of Real Estate, to introduce the developer who won the competitive scoring bid to be the developer for our Fay Tower building, which is located in historic Jackson Ward. And as I had an opportunity to talk with them earlier today, I told them how historic it is. While they are only developing the one building, that they must recognize that that building sits in what was originally the Harlem in the South, and it has other historic, not so inglorious and not negative, but historic about slave trade in the city. But it was a place where it was a business corridor for African Americans and a lot of businesses. And I know that you have a particular interest in, as we redevelop it, how we focus on, um, you know, opportunities for local minority and women-owned businesses, and creating and with an emphasis on workforce development. I know that to my left, Commissioner Brody also is chair of the Property Management Committee. She and I also have conversations about how when we do what we do, we must always have the residents in mind. And so with that, I turn it to Sherelle to introduce our guests.
Mic on so everyone can hear me. So to Chair Parker and all of any commissioners and chair that are on virtually, I'm pleased to present our representatives from the NHP Foundation and their local partner. Uh, they participated and had the winning proposal under our procurement that Ms. Colleen Orsini and her shop also handled for us as the procurement director of VP for procurement. But I'm happy to introduce Mr. Mansour Abdul Malik and his colleagues. And Mansour, I'll let you and Tim take it from here. And in your packet, if you could put that up, put their You have in your packets an overview and some pictures, but we're going to put the pictures up. So you have in your packet just an overview of the NHP Foundation, and then they'll tell you a little more about themselves, and they've brought some pictures.
Yes, thank you. Hear me? All right, thank you very much. Mr. Chair, Commissioners, thank you very much for giving us this opportunity to work on such a transformative and historic project. We really do appreciate this, and we do not take this lighthearted. We approach all of our transactions with this level of care. And in particular with this one, we think we're going to double down on that. So thank you very much for your trust. So first, the NHP Foundation, what are we? Who are we? We're a 35-year-old nonprofit. We are headquartered out of New York with offices in Washington, D.C., Baltimore, as well as Chicago. Soon there'll be an office in Houston, Texas, as well as Colorado. Working in 16 different states and District of Columbia. We have about 10,000 units that we own and operate. We are long-term owners. So when we get to ownership of a particular project, it is our intent to make sure we stay there and make sure that we're a part of the community. With that being said, we are starting to really focus in on certain areas, specifically the Mid-Atlantic, particularly Maryland as well as Virginia. It's green. Oh, is that better?
Yeah, very close to it.
There we go. Is that?
Use mine, yeah.
Is that there we go. There we go. All right. So with us having a focus specifically in the Mid-Atlantic, we have about 25% of our portfolio here. We have a number of properties that we're working with in the state of Virginia. This will be our first in Richmond. So having a local partner was critical for us. With that, we are hoping that this partnership brings a few different things that would be additive to the redevelopment efforts that are occurring in the wider revitalization of Gilpin Court and Jackson Ward. We have not just the financial sophistication of being a developer that understands local housing tax credits, but we also are AA- rated by Standard & Poor's. So we are capable of being able to raise our own funds from the market, which allow us to be more flexible and be able to look at different financing opportunities. We also have a suite of different offices that support the transaction, meaning we have obviously development, which is where myself and my colleague Tim will sit. We will be your points of contact. But we also have a construction management division to make sure that we always have someone that is on site being able to make sure the construction is going the way it was always designed. We have an asset management division to make sure that we're meeting all the compliance requirements and that we're meeting all the budget markers. We also have an operation pathways division, which focuses on resident services. We typically do that in partnership with our partners, specifically the Housing Authority. So in this instance, there is a division dedicated specifically to being able to bring services that the residents choose to their property. So for our senior buildings, we're doing things like medical clinics. We have voting drives. For our properties that are in the southern part of the country, closer to parts of Texas, close to the southern border, we have English as a second language, and we have also early childhood education. One of which in your packet, it's not a page number in here, but the Terraces at Park Heights is a new build transaction we just completed in Baltimore, which has a makerspace. That makerspace was done in conjunction with the governor's office in order for us to help fight childhood poverty. So we would have things like 3D printers and sewing machines and things that the neighborhood would be able to use 100% for free in order for them to be able to advance their artistic dreams. So with that being said, there are tons of things that I think we have done in the past that would be helpful. But at the end of the day, we want to make sure that we're doing the best thing that is for the residents and for this community. So with that being said, I'm going to pass it to my colleague, Tim Pryor, to tell a little bit about some of the work that he's doing specifically in Virginia. And then after that, our partners to be able to talk a little bit more about the work that they're doing.
Can I ask you a question, Millie?
Yes, sir.
Are you bringing some of those things to the table for this project here?
Yes, sir. 100%.
Because all of them can be used there. You know, those are things we can really use in this community.
Yeah, 100%. The full suite of services that NHP Foundation offers will be all at hand.
Yeah.
The question is like, what is the mix, right? And that's where we all have to work together in order to figure out like what's right.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
So I'll I'll talk a little bit about one project that I'm working on that I think has a lot of parallels to.
Yeah, you want to
I
use this
think,
one.
yeah, this is the
That's the
champion microphone. Let's use that one. As Manchester suggested, I'll talk a little bit about one of the projects that I'm currently working on in Virginia that I think has a lot of parallels to Fay Towers. It's called Danville House. It's a project that I'm working on in Danville, Virginia, and it's 11-story property, similar to Fay Towers. It's currently senior. It's going to stay senior, so it's a little different in that respect. It's 99% project-based Section 8. I think we're going to have a little bit different of an income mix here with about 30%. But the financing has got a lot of parallels, and I think that was one of the things that we thought we could really bring to the table for Fay Towers. And Fay Towers is going to require a significant construction budget. And so what we tried to do was really look at all the different ways we could raise money for this project. And so, we're going to look at historic tax credits. We're going to look at low-income housing tax credits. That's really sort of the baseline. But historic tax credits are going to be an important part of this project too. It is on the National Register, so it is eligible for historic tax credits. But beyond that, we're also looking at state soft money from ASNH up to $5 million. We've been able to secure that for Danville House. As well as exploring the opportunity to get state low-income housing tax credits. So we're in the process of applying for those state low-income housing tax credits on Danville House right now, and we expect to apply for them for Fay Towers next year. And so really by bringing all of these different sources together, we feel like we can create a renovation budget that Fay Towers really deserves. It's a significant project. It's going to need a lot of work, and we believe we have a financing combination that can get us there. So I think Danville House is a real example of us heading in that direction on a current project that'll have a lot of parallels in this new project. So that's really a little bit that I can offer, but I'm going to turn it over to the Hanson Company because they are a local partner. They've got a strong understanding of the neighborhood, and I'm going to turn it over to Tavares, who's going to talk a little bit about community engagement and what they've experienced and what we're hoping we can do in cooperating with you.
So I'm Tavares McCoy with the Hanson Company. And I just want to speak to, when we think about community engagement, it really is a process that starts at the very beginning about being a part of the community and then just listening, understanding what RRHA is already doing and what is already established within the community, and then coming alongside to partner with RRHA and, add our experience and our abilities to what's already happening to reach the residents where they are and make sure that we're hearing them throughout this process. Of course, in this case, the building itself is not currently occupied. However, as was previously mentioned, this is a part of the larger redevelopment effort in this area, in the greater Gilpin Court area, as well as the Housing Authority's full footprint. And so, the listening exercise is really about hearing what all is out there and how that affects what we're planning to do and how we implement some of what we're hearing into what's needed in this project.
Back over to you.
Kevin, you got to say something, man.
Okay, well, I'm going to be brief.
Can I just say we're pleased to have you here, and we're excited about the fact that you're part of this project. He's been around for years, been around as long as I've been around, and done quite a lot of projects in Richmond and surrounding areas, and all top flight. And
Thank
so
you.
it's just just a star to have him on this project working with us. So we're just pleased to have you here, Kevin.
Thank you. So, those that don't know, I'm already part of the community. I've lived in Jackson Ward for about 30 plus years, and I started my company in Jackson Ward. We were headquartered in Jackson Ward. We focused on Jackson Ward. I like to say I might have been one of the pioneers of the renaissance of Jackson Ward. We seem to be blessed to kind of have input on some of the landmark projects in Jackson Ward, being the Eggleston Hotel, Eggleston Plaza. That was one of our projects. The OIC building, which is Booker T. Washington Plaza, both affordable housing projects. Those were birthed in our office. Initially, the Black History Museum and converting the armory and putting the Black History Museum in that armory was birthed in our office. And one of our disciples later on was the developer and the construction manager on that project. And we see the same opportunity here at Fay Towers. Some of you may know that although it's located in Gilpin Court, at one time there was a rich sense of pride of residency for the people who occupied Fay Towers, and there was a waiting list for people seniors who wanted to get in Fay Towers. So it was a community, and now we have an opportunity. Me as a resident, me as a person who has adopted Jackson Ward, and my colleagues in my office, we have an opportunity to kind of revitalize that and create that icon of a project that's going to be transformational and contribute significantly to the redevelopment of Gilpin Court.
Excited about it.
Yeah.
Some of our, did any of the commissioners have any comments for the developers at this time?
I had a question for Stephen.
Please.
Are these developers, when we went to Grady Mariah, are these the same ones? Because I didn't recognize any of
Sure,
these
sure.
today.
No, they're not. So when we're at Great Mount Garaya, Baptist Church, that is HRI. Those are the ones that are developing Gilpin Court, the whole Gilpin Court, all of Gilpin Court. That's Josh, remember him? So this particular development group, they are narrowly developing Fay Towers. So this is a different group, different RFP competitive process. Yep. 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 I'd like to say something, Mr. Chair, if I could.
What is the timeline on Fay Towers, Mr. Hanson or anyone? Please give us that. What kind of timeline do you have on the project?
Sure, I'll take that. So the first thing, I think we need to make sure that we get past the process of all the just cleaning up the business as far as approvals here. So going through our MDA and getting all that done. I think we can move through that relatively quickly. My expectation is that we should be able to get it done within 60 days. And then obviously waiting on, whatever the processes are for the board and in order to go through that. After that, it's going to be more entitlement stuff. So my understanding right now is that the Fay Towers site also abuts a portion of Gilpin Court. So in this instance, we would need to go through the subdivision process. So once we've gone through the subdivision process, we should then have all the entitlements necessary in order for us to redevelop Fay Towers. After that, then it's just going to be the round of being able to work through the financing. I expect that we're going to wind up doing the financing as well as the subdivision in parallel. So it's my expectation that it's going to be somewhere in the ballpark of about 2.5 years or so for us to be able to get a shovel in the ground. In the best case scenario, worst case scenario is probably closer to 3.5. Obviously, the funds that Tim described are going to be competitive. So if we're factoring in that there may be a round where we just don't win, then it will keep the expectations realistic.
What has been your track record as far as MBE participation in your projects in the past?
I would say fantastic.
Okay.
The reason I say that is because we try to be very deliberate in how we approach participation. So it's more than just on the construction side. I think it can be, let's get past the contractor's going to have a certain number of minority businesses that will be a part of the sticks and bricks. Get it. Let's put that to the side. The goal is to be able to maximize that. How do we maximize it, right? So that means that we need to go out and find every minority, women-owned, disadvantaged business that has the ability to participate and be able to advertise directly to them specifically. Hard stop. After that, the next part is how else can we have that participation? So for instance, in areas we're having minority businesses participate mainly in a lot of soft costs. So for instance, we have environmental engineers, civil engineers. Oh, sorry about that. Environmental engineers, civil engineers, folks that are historically you're not seeing minority business participation. We've been able to successfully find those folks and be able to work with them. In many instances, they've been smaller companies, so we've had to take some chances on some folks. But we've come to find that at very minimum, if we can know what is the full story of the business and see where there may be some holes, we can at least plan for that in order for us to work with them. So the Park Heights project, which is the one that you have on the first page, the neighborhood association, Park Heights Renaissance, had a workforce development program, and it had no money. We immediately partnered with them, got them under contract for them to be able to cut the grass, to be able to shovel the snow, salt the sidewalks, deal with any type of dumping that occurs while we were putting together development. So in this instance, it was like a $150,000 contract that we were able to support with them. They're like, listen, we're going to need a little bit of time in order for us to get ramped up. Totally fine. Once they got ramped up, it was fluid. Somebody needed to give them a chance. We were able to give them a chance. Our contract allowed them to go and borrow funds in order for them to be able to buy equipment. So there's things that we're able to do. So long as we, again, who are they? Let's understand what they can do, what they can't do. How can we support them and to be able to work with them? We've done this in Baltimore. We've done this in South Carolina. We've done this in DC. We've done this in Texas. We've done this in Colorado. We've done this in almost every place where we have a development. So this is consistent. And within the packet, you have listed the folks that we've worked with. So like you can call and be able to verify some of the work that we've done.
Malik, I like that process. That's great because everybody's not going to come all fully prepared, but you're prepared to at least give them chance, and that's all a lot of people need. It's just an opportunity to jump in there. If you give me that opportunity, I can start to be somebody else, and I can grow to be somebody else. So I appreciate you doing that because we've got some Section 3 people who have not done things out there, but they want to have things or do things. They have the will and everything. So I think if we can work together as a team to RRHA and your team, your organization, I think we can really make some good things out of this project.
Yeah, I think there's a way for us to be able to figure out the process.
Mhm.
Insurance, I've come to find, is always a big issue.
Yeah.
So in this instance, we may have to pay a little bit more for that specific consultant to be able to work with it because it costs more for them to be able to get insurance.
Did you say insurance?
Insurance, yeah.
We have an
So
insurance company that's in Richmond, a local insurance, a big black-owned insurance company, so they could certainly help you with.
those are the
that
things that I want to
process
hear
too.
about.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Same thing with title and recording. We work with one of the oldest Black title and recording firms in Baltimore. They're out there. Admittedly, I don't know them, so I know what I don't know, and I don't know where these firms are. All I ask is that you point me in the right direction. I'll run the hill.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
You getting ready to say something?
Yes, a couple things. I know that you are on the last piece of finalizing your master development agreement. I would ask that you um, attach to it what you were just saying. You were talking about what Chair Parker asked is the timeline. That what you just said, I'm curious to look at that to see what can be reduced, right? We try to push on that. So obviously we know Virginia housing tax credits, there is a normal timeline for approval and boom boom. And so what I'd like to see attached to that MDA, which you haven't signed yet, is that schedule, okay, that you just articulated. But I like to see it in writing so we can see, because you said boom, 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 boom means dates. That you said you see this, this, and that, and this is when we see shovel on the ground. So I think for this committee and for the larger board, and it's me as CEO, I like to see that schedule, and you can say this is shovel. So then, Miss Senior Vice President for real estate, part of her job, and I tasked her out to do, is to manage that schedule, is to make sure we're meeting those timelines. So I'd like to see it. So that's number one. Number two is um, one thing that struck me, and that is one of my bosses to my left, Commissioner Brody. She was whispering to me when she came in that one of the things that they haven't, the group here, you all haven't said anything, but she said, Mr. Ness, before you walked in, they didn't know who I was. I could have been a public citizen coming to give a speech, but what I felt inside was they were treating me like I was a real person because they didn't know. I could have been the chair of this committee, or y'all didn't know. And I always like to get a sense from what others are thinking, Commissioner Pittsford. And when she said that, I think that's a tribute that you don't know who you're going to meet when you walk in, and you treated her as a known person. Last, I would just say that as I asked you to come back to the full board meeting to give the same presentation, I would only encourage you, when you give your presentation to full board, that you each take turn and say each of what you said, because today, each of you said something that was distinguished from the other. Just from, you don't have it verbatim written down. Each of you said something that was very different. So when you come to full board, I would just encourage you to each tease out each of what you said. That's it.
Was a major thing for me because I have been disrespected by contractors. I've been disrespected in community by people to come to work for housing. And I believe it was you that first came through the door. And immediately you said, "Good afternoon." That was something that's major to me because I done spoke to people before and nobody opened their mouth. And before you know I was a commissioner, each and every one of y'all introduced yourself. They spoke to me. So that made me feel like, okay, so they're willing to treat our Section 3 people if they come for that with dignity and respect. Because a lot of times people come in and say they want to employ our people with Section 3, but they don't get treated like normal employees. I seen that firsthand. So that was major to me, and I pulled Steve to the side. I said, that's something major that you're willing to treat people with respect from the beginning. The second thing is I was sitting here, each one of you spoke, and no one had to look down. So that tells me that you believe wholeheartedly everything that you're saying is transparency. You didn't have to look down one time or anything that anyone spoke on. And that to me says they believe everything they're saying. It wasn't rehearsed, it wasn't stripped. It was, we're gonna come in here, we're gonna tell our truth. And when you live in the neighborhood, I see more than any other commissioner. I see more than probably any other employee because I'm there. I have kids in each age bracket. So I'm able to see, I can call a spade a spade. And I just want to tell y'all from me, and it's not even as a commissioner, just as a resident, I appreciate y'all.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Mr. Jackson, is there anything you wanted to say?
No, sir.
Brody?
Thank you for the opportunity. I'm just here listening in.
Okay, thank you so much. Ms. Brody? Ms. McCray. Excuse me. I don't know. Okay. All right. And is there anything anyone else wanted to say to the gentleman? We don't want to hold them too much longer. I just want them to come back and as they get more into what they're doing and give us another presentation when you're ready. When you're ready to come back and give us another presentation. Put it on the board, give us a virtual, give us a visual of everything you're doing. And we're looking forward to guys moving forward on the project.
Be my pleasure. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'll come back for 20th. Okay. Perfect.
That is the 20th, right? Okay, thank you.
Okay. We're talking about the real estate committee is the one I'm more concerned about. I want you, I'm talking because we're the ones that look for minority participation. We look for local participation. We look for all that stuff.
Okay.
So, I'm talking about the real estate.
Yes, sir.
We're the ones that said, we want to see more minority. We said we want to see more local. We want to say we wanted all this stuff. So I'm just saying that. You understand, Malik, though?
I 100% understand and 100% embody it. You will get what you asked for, sir.
Take care, Kevin.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, guys. We're good. Y'all take care. Have a good evening. Ms. Sherelle, did you have anything else you want to? Yeah. Well, if we get with a report, okay, thank you. Mm-hmm. Can we, this picture is here now?
Do you want to approve the minutes?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, we can do that.
Let's go back to that now, Mr. Pitchford is here. Take care.
Okay, so before the committee tonight is the March 31st, 2026 meeting minutes. Do I have a motion to approve?
So be it.
Is there a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Hearing none opposed. Motion carries. Minutes are approved.
Okay, Thank you. All right. And we had no outside citizens' comments, and we're into Ms. Sherrill's report. So, Ms. Sherrill, if you don't mind, continuing on with your approach, your report, I repeat. You need a new mic? Or
No, I
did they
think
give
I'm
it back
good.
to you?
They gave it back to me.
Okay, hold it close.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Chair Jackson. I believe we're up for Gilpin, and I believe Mr. Nesmith is first.
Right, so, Mr. Chair, the next item under A and update the Big Six real estate projects is the Gilpin Court redevelopment, and more specifically, the Gilpin First Bill project. When Ms. Hanson comes up, I want her to remind everyone what is the First Bill project. We have so much going on, I think we should time to forget, and I'd like for her just to remind everyone what is that project, First Bill, and what it is intended to do. So we need to start off with that, just to remind everyone, as I like to say, the level set. I will say, though, that one of the things that's important about this project is that if you all recall, last year, even last year and a half, there were groups going before city council, yelling, saying RHA this, that, even when the church was on the community. One of those groups, and I'm proud to say, because I think one of my important responsibilities, the CEO, is when there are differing opinions, but we recognize we have the same goal, is to invite those different opinions in, and recognize we have the same goal. We may have different ways to get there, but we have the same goal in terms of our residents. And one of those groups is the Gilpin Informed Residents. And I've been saying this now publicly because that was one of the groups that was active. It's the young group. We first and foremost focus on the leadership of our resident tenant council, because they're the only duly recognized group by HUD that represents the residents. But we also want to recognize the other voices in the community. They're different. Gilpin Forum Residents is not the only one. There are others as well. And so we're trying to be more inclusive in terms of the voices. And just want to say that we're holding a meeting to listen to their concerns, and trying to bring everyone together. RTO.
Those
And then-
young ones are the future ones too.
Yes,
So
that's
you got to
true.
realize that you're dealing with them now, and you're gonna have to probably deal with them more as they get older and grow into the other positions also.
That is
So we
true.
got to follow them through.
That's true. So I just wanted to say that we are having conversations with them, and we're going to start doing more of that. So I just want to say that that's important, and I hand it over to Sherelle to remind us what is that first bill, and how it's important, we believe, to the residents before we start the formal redevelopment of Gilpin Court. This gives RHA and the developer an opportunity to gain some trust with the residents. Sherelle.
All right, thank you, CEO Nesmith. The Bill First project involves 21 parcels that will be combined of vacant land that is in the Gilpin community, but not on the footprint of Gilpin. No work is being done on Gilpin at this time. The Bill First project, and throughout the country, it is a best practice, where possible and land is available, that they build those apartment units first. It's 56 units. They build that first to mitigate displacement. Residents can feel comfortable in staying in their community in which they resided before redevelopment. So that is the reason for Bill First. That first project is a small one, which is why we are now seeking approval to select a developer and complete negotiations with them on the Fay Tower, which will be Bill First number 2. But Bill First number 1, you heard from HRI last month at the end of March. They presented, you have that information before in your packet, and they will continue to update us as they go through that process. They had a timeline. They are looking at opening between 28 and 29. They want to start construction in 27, and hopefully we'll begin lease up in mid to late 28. So that's the Gilpin Bill First project. In relation to that, we had a CNI stakeholders meeting. It should be in your packet under Gilpin. Roughly some 26 different community partners participated, including representatives from the city of Richmond, plus 9 RRHA staff, for a total of 35 people on that virtual call. We also asked HRI to come in and give that stakeholder group an overview of the Gilpin Bill First, and Josh Collin and Ms. Demetria Williams were on hand for that project. So that is the Bill First project. Is there anything else you'd like me to share on Gilpin Bill First?
Yes, I may. And also want to just say that we were fortunate to have our Commissioner Pitchford there, who
Yes.
gave inspiring words about, again, coming together and hearing all voices, as I said earlier, come together. So I want to thank Commissioner Pitchford for giving the sort of closing remarks there. And I think your words were appropriate, again, in terms of just bringing everyone together. So thank you for being there, Commissioner Pitchford.
If I may, Mr. Chair, but if you're looking for Gilpin, Gilpin is the Bill First project. Gilpin begins on page 3 and it runs over to 4. So everything in blue. Everything in blue. Okay. If I may move on, if you'd like me to move on, okay. So just, I'm not going to repeat the report because you have it, but what is noteworthy around Creighton Court is that there are 68 family households that are still on site. 9 of them are pending moves. People are moving every week, so we will start to see it. But what is key is that they have started demolishing the buildings. So one building was coming down yesterday, and they will continue to take all 16 buildings down. But they took down the first 4 buildings. They started with them on yesterday. So that is what's going on with Creighton. We had a very successful eviction diversion event today out at Armstrong Renaissance. RECD held that in partnership with the Southside Community Development and Housing Corporation, who's located on Hull Street. They are the eviction diversion nonprofit or program manager for the city over the eviction diversion program. And what do I mean by eviction diversion program? If you owed back rent and was or is currently a resident or tenant of RRHA, you could come in if you were in threat of being evicted, come in and seek assistance. So they had some 50 folks that came out today. It was a very well attended program. We will have another on May 12th. That is the proposed date. We did have some from Fairfield and other properties, and we'll be opening it up. We didn't turn anybody away, even though Mosby Court South and Creighton residents were prioritized. We did not turn anybody away that was a tenant at RRHA, or if you was a HCV participant, you could have come as well. So we will do another, Miss Bowser, and I want to thank her and the team at Southside because they didn't, when I asked, she did not hesitate. She came right on and said, we'll be there. So she worked along with her other staff, and they will be back. It is tentatively scheduled for May 12th. And the time was 1 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. So we will send notices out to everyone. I don't want to overwhelm them, but she is open to coming back again as many times as we need her, and they have the staff to do it. They will do it. And it is a program to help you pay that rent up and do 1 month after, to try to help you get on your feet and stay on your feet. Now, if you owe 14, 15, and $20,000, she has a limit. The city put a limit, so she will not be able to assist those folk. But we made that clear, and they met and talked with everyone and took applications right there on spot. And we gave out at the meeting from Mosby on the 16th, we let them know what information they had to bring. We gave them the applications. The RECD staff assisted them with their hardship letters as to why they're in this predicament, and we will do that again on May 12th. So that was interesting for Creighton Court.
Ms. Sherrill,
Yes, sir.
how effective do you think that program was?
I think it's an effective program. I think folks have to understand there are limits, but it does keep people from being evicted. But now you can't have, like I said, a 10, 12, 14, $15,000 balance. You know, if you're under 5,000, they can help you. But they will look at it and see what it is, and then they will even help you with your next month rent. But they want to know that either you're working or you have some type of steady income, that once they help you get out of the situation you're in, that you can maintain and be sustainable.
How many applicants do you think you took?
There were 50 some odd. They came out today. They were in line before we got there, and we got there a little after 12. So we'll do that again on May 12th, and please pass the word. We'll make sure that you all get a flyer and pass the word for any of our residents that need the services. We'll take them from Hillside, Wickham, all of Mosby, which they could have come today, Gilpin, any of them that are in that situation. So we will send that out so you could advertise at your tenant council meetings coming up. Everybody, we'll send it to in all tenants.
Okay.
Yes.
We subcontract that out to them?
No, wasn't no subcontract. That's
So we
what
just
they
call
do.
them and they come over and do it, huh?
I called her. She was receptive and open, and she will do it as long as they have funds, because their funds come from the city.
I got it.
And as long as she still have remaining funds to do that.
So she's subcontracted from the city.
Yes.
Thank you
Yes.
so much.
Uh-huh.
Good job. Thank you.
Yeah.
sir.
So that's one thing to know for Creighton. For Mosby Court South, we had a great meeting on the 16th of April with the tenant council representatives from the RTO and the Mosby Court South residents. I believe we are close. They are ready to sign. They did ask for some clarification on 2 items, and I will do that. That's the tenant bill of rights that I'm talking about for Mosby Court South. So we're hoping Miss Commissioner Pitchford attended. How did you like the program?
I thoroughly enjoyed the program. I love the different the little icons that they
On the
went
board,
over. I think it was all the way up to 12.
Mm-hmm.
And they explained, but the way they did it in a presentation, and as they got to the icon that they were talking about, they pointed it out, and then they were very thorough on their questioning, and they gave the residents a chance to ask questions. Mrs. Hampton really nailed it to the ground about the qualifications and what is needed, and basically pay your rent. And so I was thorough. It wasn't over our heads. It wasn't just reading something and rushing and all that. It was very thorough with the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The residents, they were ready to pick the words out. What she was talking about is when we put it in the formal template, and thanks to legal, put it in the formal template, we wanted to make sure that those terms that they were important to them was the right to return, 1-for-1 replacement. What were the relocation financial assistance that would be available?
all of the terms. They could pick them out off of the wall. We put the words up and the terms up. The two things they wanted to know was about utility deposits, and we have added that. And they wanted to make sure that they knew that there is one-for-one replacement on site, but the only way that is occurring in this project has to do with the size of the project. A large project, we would have to do what HUD is saying on site and off site, but this one can occur on site because Mosby Court South only has 106 units there. And so it's a smaller project, but it is also over phases. It's over 3 phases. So that was Mosby Court South. We had a great meeting on April 16th. If there, if there are no questions about Mosby Court South, you've heard from Fay Towers, so I won't say any more about that. It will come up in a resolution for your recommendation. And I'll stop now and turn it over back to Mr. Nesmith about the Anna Julia Cooper School.
Thank you. Before I go to Andrew Cooper School, I want to make a note of something, and that is I forgot to do under the Gilpin presentation. As to the memorandum of agreement between RRHA and the city, I'm happy to report that the majority of the policy issues have been agreed to, and we are now, as Sharon Ebert shared with the CNI group, the larger group, we shared with them on the phone that there are only just a few legal issues that the lawyers are trying to straighten out, as they say. And so we're waiting on the mayor's lead and to contact us. We hope sometime in May, we'll be able to have some sort of collaborative agreement around everything. And then that document would come to this board. Spoke to President Newbill about it as well. It will come to this board for consideration. And obviously, we're gonna, whenever that is, we're gonna give it to you with a lot of ample time to read it. Won't be like one of the things you see in DC and Congress where you get 2 days to read it and give us your vote. Give you plenty of time on that. I also, next item and last I have is on the, I'm excited about it. It's the Anna Julia Cooper School. We've heard me talk about it before. We're gonna, those recall, many years ago, RHA gave Anna Julia Cooper School a building long before we all got here. The intent when we gave that building to the school was to build a daycare. Fast forward, we have decided, the board has decided to give that, to give outright that building at a minimal price to the school for what? For them to take it to the next level. Most people know that the school educates majority public housing residents for free. And we're going to be celebrating on May 21st, I think it is, the partnership and the mission between RHA and the school. What's that? This board and this real estate committee, and under leadership of then also our current chair, Eddie Jackson, we said, let's find a couple of projects where we cannot seek to make revenue, create revenue, or build, redevelop public housing in a way. Let's do something that it serves a community good. They're helping to build the community, community needs. And this is one of those examples where the school's mission and educating public housing residents meets this board's and this committee's criteria of community benefit and benefit to community. And we're proud to say, Chair Parker, when that announcement comes, one of our shining examples that we're going to show is Commissioner Brody. Commissioner Brody, not only was it when we were there for the planning session 2 weeks ago, I was there with, communications, our whole team, the chair of their board, the superintendent school. as we're there and we're meeting people, I said, hi, little young lady. They said, this is Commissioner Brody's daughter. She goes to the school. I said, hey, how you doing? And then, of course, she has another that has graduated. What we're going to do on that day is we're going to invite former public housing residents that have graduated from that school and got a free private education and highlight what they're doing post graduation. And we're going to also highlight some of the current students that are matriculating. And one of the speakers are going to be our one and only Commissioner Brody. I just want to have Commissioner Brody say a few words and then we'll go on to the next item.
What time is that, Steve? You have a timeline yet?
I don't know the actual, I know the
Okay.
actual time. She may have it, but we'll have it for the full board meeting because there'll be another presentation. Commissioner Brody.
I don't know. I speak so much on AJC. I don't know. Like, it's just a wonderful place. It's more than a school, and I really can't wait for you to go and you see the kids and you get a feel for it. You been there, so you feel the open door policy. You had to go, so you understand. You understand my little 6-year-old boy, because I have a little one that you met. Um, he not a tie. You know, he know how to take a tie loose and actually tie a tie. That was he came home and said, "Mommy, I know how to tie a tie." I said, "Well, show me," because they send them home with their own little tie. They're not just educating them; they're giving them life skills. And I tell anybody, because they definitely have an open door policy. Just go and see, and once you get into the movement, you'll see. We have kids that come from there to get to go to the best high schools that the city have: St. Catherine's, St. Christopher's, Christ Church. Christ Church is a boarding school. The military school, and they don't only just get to go. They go and don't have to worry about how they're gonna play sports. They don't worry about how they're gonna get there. They provide transportation. I have my second one at Crystal Ray Richmond, where they help with the tuition for your child to go to high school. So I tell anybody, you have a chance to go, just stop by. It just when I first heard it, I was like, I don't know. I was kind of like, I don't know. But then once my daughter went, I'm like, oh my goodness, they go to the best summer camps. So yeah, my daughter told me, she said, he told me you're his boss.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your report. What's next, Steve? Ms. Sherrill?
Yeah, no,
Is now Ms. Orsini giving one of the items that is near and dear. They're all near and dear to Chair Jackson. I mean, Chair Parker's heart. But this one in particular, I'll go to you, Cheryl. It's a section 3 in the, Ms. Sherrill.
okay, thank you, and sorry, Chair Parker, I wanted to add one project, 400 East Grace Street. I wanted to let you know several things about the project. We granted them another extension, I believe, until May or June. But in August, that's right. I'm sorry. I'm getting my projects mixed up. But it is August. We granted them extension, and that was due to the environmental approval. That is still pending. We have not submitted that to HUD, but should be going in shortly. We were working with the city on that project. I also wanted to say that last night at city council meeting, 2 of our conduit bond projects passed, and that was one of them. Yes, 400 East Grace, as well as Commerce Heights was another one of the bond projects that came before us. So those applications were approved, and now they move on to the state. So I just wanted to update that on you, update that to you. So thank you for allowing me that addition.
That's beautiful.
Good news. Great. I'm gonna ask the question, Ms. Sherrill, what is the extension for? I don't see it here on the,
The extension,
why do we grant an extension?
it was due to the environmental,
Oh,
waiting on
but
the environmental clearance
extension to do what?
for the
Moving forward with the process?
yes, they have to have HUD clearance and all of that and the environmental. So that's what it is. And it was on page 5 of 7 near the middle, 400 East Grace Street. you will see under April updates.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Great. Good report.
I had one question.
Mhm.
It's not totally related to that, but since it is the real estate.
We'll have to speak in the mic.
Since it is the real estate committee, the HUD no, the hood parking lot, has that been settled? Is it RRHA or is still the church? I don't.
No,
I'm
so
not familiar
if I
with the
could
hood
just-
parking lot.
So what you, two different projects, what Terrell talked about that passed city council, those are, two different, projects, the one you're referring to. The one you're referring to is the Jackson Place.
Yeah.
That Jackson Place project there, that is RRH property.
Okay, I saw it.
And that has been, that was been awarded to the developer, and that Jackson Place project is moving forward.
Okay.
In fact, we got a brief on it from the developer today. They are getting their, what we call final approvals, hopefully, but it's City Hall.
Okay.
And they're negotiating with City Hall.
Okay, and the church.
And the church, yeah. And in fact, I'm working with the church. I'm hoping to, I mean, the fact of the matter is that we're giving a briefing to both the church and Robert, who's the president of 533 Club.
Okay.
We'll be giving them a briefing on the project itself, but both the church and the club. And what I'm going to help them negotiate in terms of parking, because we met with Councilwoman Ellen Roberts, City Council passed an ordinance last year that says that redevelopment is more important than parking space.
Right.
So that was City Council. And so with that, I'm going to help them negotiate parking, discounted parking for both the church and the 530 Club across the street at a parking space over there. We counted how many spaces both the church and the club need, and we have it a spot. It's called Parkway Corporation out of Philadelphia. We hope to be negotiating with them soon to get them discounted parking across the street.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to. I'm finished. Thank you for the clarity.
Please. So we're gone to the MBE report. Where are we? Ms. Colleen?
Here. Can you all hear me?
I can.
Oh, well, good. At least you can. That's all that matters, Sherelle. Good evening, everyone. Did you put it on the screen, Logan? Are you going to put it on the screen? I have it up, but.
Do you want to share your screen or do you want me to pull it up?
I can share my screen.
Okay, I'll make you the presenter.
Okay.
I think her report is in your packet too. Everybody has her report in your packet.
Oh, then we don't need to pull it up. Let me shut up.
Okay, you're now the presenter, Colleen, so you should be able to share your screen.
All righty. Let's see, make it a little bigger for y'all, maybe. Oopsie, not that big. Can you see that? Good.
The little error.
No, just
Oh.
the overall chart itself.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, you have it in your packets too, if you can't see it on the screen. Unfortunately, I did find a little error in my formulas when I was doing this month's report. And though, I think the numbers still look good, except for my section 3, we're doing pretty well overall. I'm going to dig a little more into the section 3 because I'm pretty sure we should be exceeding that. So I just need to make sure that the report that I'm pulling all this information from is coming in clearly. So I'm going to do a deeper dive into that over the next couple of weeks before next month's committee to make sure that we are exceeding that goal and not under that goal. But as you can see with our MBE, we're at almost 35%. And with our women owned, we're at almost 13%. So in those two categories, we're doing very well. I don't think section 3 is too bad. It can fluctuate from month to month anyways, depending on the spend and where that spend is done at, as with all of these numbers. So as we go throughout the year, you'll start to see more balance in those numbers. But I think overall, we're still doing pretty good. Does anybody have any questions?
You seem to think that there might be some error in your computer or something, Colleen, to make those numbers look different like that in the first categories?
Yeah, I do know that I did have a formula error from last month's report, but I have fixed that for this month's report. But I think I might, I have to run 2 reports in order to get 1 report. And so I have to go back and check my vendors that I have and make sure that all the vendors that I know are Section 3 vendors are listed as Section 3 vendors. So that's what
We
I
need to
just,
know that.
oh yeah, I'm going to
Definitely.
verify that for sure.
Will you be able to have that by the next board meeting or by the next real estate meeting? How does that turn out? How long do you think that's going to take, Ms. Colleen?
Well, I probably won't be until the next committee meeting. Just because we got a lot going on in procurement and, not that I know how much this is near and dear to your heart, but if you really need it, like by the board meeting, I will put my greatest effort into getting that for you.
Yeah, it would be good. I don't want to look bad in the meeting. We've been looking so good for so long, but if
I
it's the
know.
technical part here, let's clear it up.
Oh yeah, I'm very disappointed. Okay, but okay, no problem. I will put it on my priority list.
Thank you so much. As usual, you've done a wonderful job. Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
sir.
Any
Yep.
questions from any of the commissioners?
Mm-mm.
Hearing none.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
Colleen.
Thank you.
At this point, I guess the next thing on the agenda is the resolution. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mr. Rell, you're finished and with your reports. Thank you so much for your reports.
Yes, I have. Yes, sir, I am.
Finished with what you were doing. Unless you
Yes,
have
sir.
something else,
I have nothing else.
we're ready for the resolution.
Yes, sir. So before you tonight is Resolution 2026-16. It's the resolution to authorize the approval of the selection of the Fay Tower co-developer, and the Fay Tower co-developer is the NHP Foundation and the Hanson Company. Do I have a motion to consider the resolution?
So be.
Oh, everybody. I'll go Commissioner Brody. I heard her first. Is there a second?
I second it.
Okay. Is there any discussion or questions before the vote?
I just got a question on this.
Mhm.
I know it's not the finance committee, but has it ran through the finance committee?
So this resolution won't run through the finance committee. There's no financial implications.
None at all.
No. So if you look on the, so it'll be the 4th page. It's not numbered, but it's certification of funding availability. It's been checked not applicable. So there's no
Okay.
financial
I just wanna
implications
make
at this
sure
point.
Things go by the financial people.
Yes, ma'am. No, none at this time. It's just the selection of the developer.
Okay, we can
Um,
move on.
Yeah, okay.
And actually, they're not asking us for anything, are they?
No, at this time, this is just you all approving the selection, and it authorizes the CEO to begin negotiations of the term sheet MDA for approval.
Okay.
And as I would think, I got this. Yeah. And actually, as I would think, they're going to be self-funding this project, aren't they? Is that right, Ms. Sherrill?
So Chair Parker, they will be applying for funds
Mm-hmm.
and they will apply for tax credits and any other local sources as well as historic tax credits. I'm not sure if they will use our conduit bond program or not, but right now those are the sources, federal and state and any local that the city may have.
Like
And-
any other developer.
Right. And I was smiling, Mr. Nesmith was making faces at me. So,
This lady took that robe off.
I thought about that too. You know, that's what a real big smile.
Yeah.
All right. If there's no more questions, we'll take a vote to recommend this resolution to the full board.
Are you straight, Ms. Victor?
Just as long as it don't make us in the ruins
No, we're
with
good.
the
We're
finance.
good. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to say, if I may, excuse me,
Mhm.
June 4, once we complete negotiations, but we can't complete negotiations.
Okay, and it's going, when you come back, that's going to already have gone through the finance department.
No, it will not. Again, will not go through the finance committee because this project has zero implications to RHA.
Okay,
This, yeah, solely the real estate committee.
okay.
So, being no commissioners virtually, we can just do, we don't have to do a roll call vote. So, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Resolution will be sent to the full board. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you all.
Thank you, Patrick. Appreciate that. Commissioner Brody, do you have anything else you'd like to say as we get ready to close out? I think that's it for our agenda. But do you have any closing remarks on anything at all?
No.
Okay,
Thank you.
Commissioner Pitchford, is there anything you have?
Oh, no, we good.
Okay.
The money right, projects right,
And,
we good.
Mr. Jackson, Chair Jackson, is there anything you have? I know you didn't want to say too much, and I don't want to press you too much. You do so much for this board and for helping us and everything else, but is there anything you'd like to say at this closing before we adjourn?
No, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. It's been a well-ran meeting. And I continue to look forward to what we're doing. That's it.
Thank you, Chair. If there's nothing else before that, I want to thank the staff, everyone from Logan to Patrick to Ms. Cole and to Ms. Hampton. So we really thank everybody for what you do. Oh, Steve.
You don't thank me. You do not have to thank me. You do not have to thank me. No thanks. I don't need it.
You want to thank you?
No, I get my thanks from the Lord.
Okay. But everybody really think because we're moving along with a lot of things, got a lot of things going here, and but it seems like we got it all in the right path. And even though we might look like we're juggling some things, we're juggling and going forward. We haven't dropped the ball yet. So I'm not looking forward to that. You guys have a blessed afternoon. Be careful, those who have to cross the road out there. Be careful and have a wonderful afternoon. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.